Welcome back to another episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast. We have an incredible episode for you guys coming up for two main reasons. Reason number one, Coach Conor Casey is our interview today. And of course, the guy is hilarious. He never misses on his Instagram. Go follow him on all platforms. It is well worth your follow. If you're a tennis fan, even if you're not a tennis fan, it's pure comedy. And we have an awesome interview with him with a bunch of hot takes, some of his acting career, a role that he almost got on a show that I personally loved. So that interview is awesome. The second reason why this show is awesome today is because it is sponsored by Canada House NYC. Steven will be back in the States for the first ever Slice live event at the Canuck in New York. And Steven, what's the good news you have to report about these tickets that have been out there?
Well, the good news is that we've had a great response. The event is sold out. So that's the bad news for anyone who's wanting to come, is that you're going to have to get on the wait list. But if you are in New York and you want to come to the event, get on the wait list because it is a free event. So statistically, a lot of people don't show up when it's a free event, even if they register for a ticket. So if you're listening and you've registered, don't do that. Come anyways. But I'm saying if you get on the wait list and come show up at the Canuck, I'd say there's a good chance you get in at some point. And it's going to be a great night of tennis celebration, Canadian drinks, poutine. And I don't know who's going to show up. Maybe some players show up, say hi, do a little interview. I don't know. I'm not promising anything. But other than it's going to be a great night. And I'd love to see you there. And I'd love to see you on the photo booth getting a picture with the moose.
Yes. And no, like he said, no promises, but you know that Steven is going to try his best to get a little ticket giveaway involved. So even if you're not going to the U.S. Open, show up to Canada House at the Canuck, and you might have an opportunity to get some tickets to a match. Again, no promises. We're building. We're trying to do our best. We're trying to do our best by you guys, but you have a better chance if you show up. So that will be awesome coming up. And then before we get into the interview, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened today in Cincy, some poor scheduling. Unfortunately, Sinner had to retire due to illness. And then we also got to hit on our girl Alacaz and the YouTube comments. So, Steven, before we get into any of that, how was the week?
My week was another great one. I went to the Boughton family reunion in Sun Peaks in Canada, where that's where that mountain I grew up skiing on.
Yeah.
I grew up downhill skiing, very Canadian thing to do. I would wear have you ever seen that in the Olympics? Like the full speed suit. I did that. Mine had like lava on the front of it, like a lava swirl. Froze my little dink off, and it was kind of traumatic memories. But it's just like what you're doing. Like you look back and you're like, that was kind of crazy, but it's a way better childhood than some. At least you're like an activity that's kind of cool. Back there, family reunion, that was fun. Watching Cincinnati, preparing for Canada House. I was essentially my last week was just being like, oh man, are we doing this? We're doing this.
Dude, the family reunion did look awesome. And I see Sheps out there wheeling around. That walking's getting better and better.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hanging out with him and watching him just got like 2 or 3 times as much fun. And
do you think you'll put him in downhill skiing?
Well, not if we live where we live, because we're like 3.5 hours from a good ski hill here in Victoria. But if we ever move back to Canada, maybe. But I kind of would rather him just play hockey. I wanted to. My mom was kind of savage. She's like, before you can play hockey, or she like pulled me out of hockey for a whole season to like put me in like downhill skiing. And I was like devastated because I love hockey and I still do. But I was like, so I was going to the NHL, and then she's like, you can't actually go to the NHL. You have to downhill.
Hey, so truly it's on your mom. We wouldn't even be doing this podcast if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, I'd be like the slap shot. That's what this would be called. But no, yeah, great family weekend. Shepard got in his first fight. His cousin Tripp, we actually thought Tripp, who's kind of like from a cowboy family, might start the fight. Shepard went in there, was like, ish, ish, two left hands. Tripp cried, which I said, it's a little soft, Tripp. I know you're 7 months old, but come on. And then I was proud of my boy a little bit, and not because, we don't encourage violence, but, maybe they had some baby energy going between them. And I said, look, this is my advice to everyone, not everyone, don't take my advice, but if a fight's about to go down, it's like, there's energy, and like this guy I would always rather be the first person to take a swing.
Yeah.
And I've done
that. Unless it's going to escalate to the authorities.
Yeah, but it probably would anyways if this guy's about to throw down. So you just want to you want to be the hammer in life, not the nail, and that's what Shepard did. So I was like proud of him.
Dude, baby fights are some of the funniest things that I think I've ever witnessed because it's always a moment of at least 2 seconds, which in baby time is like 8 years probably. And they look at each other. And then after the 2 seconds goes by of staring, the one that's the hammer makes his move. And it's like, what
Yeah.
in those 2 seconds that made it click in your head? Like, all right, I'm about to swing.
This is going down. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what was said, spiritually between them, but
Exactly.
must have been egregious. So that was pretty much my week. A lot of baby time, a lot of travel, but good times. How about you, JP?
It was good, man. My weekend was awesome. We celebrated the first anniversary. Which was
Yes,
fun.
congratulations.
Thank you. And we went down to Sarasota, Florida, which for those that don't know, I used to live in Bradenton when I worked at IMG Academy. And so this was Sitton's first time seeing Bradenton, Sarasota, all of those things. And man, we were blessed with these incredible. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, these sunsets. I put the drone up. And the one that I posted on my story yesterday, I don't know if I'll ever top. The birds, the actual sunset, the way the water was shining, it truly looks like AI.
It actually, I can confirm. It looks the way that the birds are flying and the sound, man. Like, is that
Okay,
a
well,
fake
the sound
soundtrack?
is from Instagram.
Okay. I was like, what is going on here? This is insane.
But man, it was awesome. It was kind of nostalgic being back there because that's where my journey started technically in the professional world, and a lot of late nights, a lot of tough times. So it was cool to go back on the other side of it all. So it was a great anniversary weekend, great way to just recap the last year, and felt lucky to do it.
That's awesome, man. That's an awesome 1 year anniversary to celebrate. You and Sitton are like an example that everyone should look up to as far as marriage and commitment. So we love that.
We need it. Somebody that we need to see some more commitment out of. This is healthy right here. This is healthy encouragement.
This is what the Filipinos do.
It is, exactly. We're just joining in.
Yeah.
We need to see some more commitment to the W's from Alex Eala so we can keep stoking the Alex Eala hour. Because right now she's going through what a lot of young players go through. She's trying to find her footing within that top 60, top 50. But in order for us to talk about her, we need her to be out there playing these matches, winning some matches, which we know she's capable of doing. Do we know who she's going to be playing in the U.S. Open?
Nope, draw's not out yet, but she did lose in Montreal in the first round. We did cover that, and she skipped Cincinnati. So hasn't played for a while, so there's not much to talk about on the Alex Eala hour.
So there it is, your Alex Eala hour.
That's it.
Now, Cincy, there are a few things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, we'll address the Carlos Alcaraz Jannik Sinner final, which unfortunately ended at 5-0 to Alcaraz because Sinner had to retire due to illness. Mm-hmm. Steven, what do we think? Do we think it was illness? Do we think it was the heat, dehydration? What do we feel?
I don't know. I've looked at the time of recording and I can't see anything to be like it was a flu or it was a cold or it was just heat stroke, but heat stroke kind of seems like the main culprit. Because that was the case for, other players as well. Zverev was affected by the heat when he played, I believe, Alcaraz. And yeah, it was I heard it was an extreme humidity heat in the Midwest there. And yeah, it can get like that. But obviously it sucks to see the final Sinner Alcaraz. I was so excited to watch that. I turned it on because I actually forgot, which we'll get to. Oh, it's Monday at 3 p.m. Central time, and the match is going on. Okay, I'll turn it on, and it was 4-0 Alcaraz. I was like, I didn't expect that. And then you look at the way Sinner was playing, and I knew something was wrong. And then he retired after one more game. So that sucks.
Insane scheduling to hit on your 3 p.m. comment. Depending on where you are in the U.S., it was a horrible time. Not one time zone in the U.S. was it outside of the working class hours of 9 to 5. And I don't know how that happens. The only, I guess, kind of reasonable, and I don't have any data on the numbers of viewership in Europe compared to the U.S. in these tournaments, but I know some people on Twitter were saying that it was an ideal time for Europe, it being at 3 p.m., whatever it was. So if the numbers are that big, I mean, maybe I get it, but also it's a live event. The tournament is making the most money off of the people showing up. Yes, the broadcast rights are important, but nobody is watching in North America at that time. And also the heat. You're asking these guys to go out there at 3 p.m., 2 p.m. And dude,
It's the hottest part of the day.
I live 3 hours away from Cincinnati, and nobody is going outside in those hours because it's humid, it's muggy, it's horrible. I mean, I was out there to get this tan that I have right now, but Alcaraz and Sinner aren't out there to get tans. They're out there to collect checks and lift trophies. But it's a nightmare, dude.
Yeah, that is a nightmare ending. Like the literal best thing in tennis right now is the Sinner Alcaraz rivalry. And yeah, I mean, if people get sick, I don't know. If it comes out that who's just had the flu or something, then that's a whole different thing. But you would think that, yeah, then that has nothing to do with the heat. But the heat part of that scheduling is crazy too, because it literally is the hottest part of the day, and it doesn't fit anyone's schedules. In New York, they are not off work yet. In Los Angeles, they're in the middle of their day. So yeah, I just wonder. It really feels like they're still ironing out the kinks of the scheduling in these extended format Masters. I had just assumed, because at the end of the tournament in Toronto, they went from playing every second day to playing back to back to back. I think quarter, semis, final. I assumed that would be the same, so they would have a Sunday final in Cincinnati. But nope, they had a day off, and then they played on Monday at 3 in the middle of the heat, and Sinner was cooked. And yeah, from the rivalry perspective, that's just a sucky way for us to all see that go down. So Alcaraz gets the win. So that will be part of the head-to-head going forward, but it's not, a really legitimate win.
Yeah.
When it comes to one guy just retiring in the first set. So
and to give
Alcaraz, just stinky.
Yeah, to give Alcaraz his credit he deserves. Obviously, he played well all tournament, but the best ability is availability, and Carlos Alcaraz, for the most part, is always there and is always fit at the end of each and every tournament, and it's a hard thing to do. And he plays a lot of 5-set matches. Sometimes in tournaments, he doesn't make it easy for himself. And so his fitness and conditioning truly is one of the best on tour, and he gets rewarded for that. And I know it's been a question for Sinner before. We don't know if this was illness or heat exhaustion, whatever it was. Everybody's body responds differently, but it's a credit to Carlos's body, and it could be something in the future that leads him to having more Grand Slams than Sinner solely because of the genetics and the DNA.
Maybe, yeah. He's, Alcaraz is born in the South. He's Spanish. He's got that natural tan. He's got that maybe natural propensity to be able to handle the heat a bit better. And yeah, Sinner, for whatever reason, wasn't able to today. So in general, it just sucks. I think it's kind of just deflates that tournament.
Right.
Kind of puts a smear on it. If anyone was looking for an indicator who had better form going into the U.S. Open, we didn't really get it. Although you can say Alcaraz has good form going into the U.S. Open for sure. And
yeah,
because the big question coming out of sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna rattle off some of Alcaraz's current accolades or his schedule and anything. Let's see. He has 8 Masters 1000s titles overall. And he has the 9-5 advantage over Sinner in their head-to-head. Sinner loses his 26-match hardcourt win streak. This is Alcaraz's 5th title of 2025. It's his 4th straight season of 50 or more wins. He's 50-6 on the year. He's on a 13-match Masters 1000 win streak, and reaching his 12th Masters 1000 semifinal in 2025 ties him with Carlos Moya for the 3rd highest among Spanish men, and he is only 22 years old.
Yeah, he's just, since Sinner won Wimbledon, I think he's the number one player in the world, but since the beginning of the clay swing until now, you could easily argue that Alcaraz has been the number one player in the world. He's gotten the most points in that stretch by far, and he's been dominant, really. And the big question after Wimbledon for him is, can he beat and compete with Sinner on fast hard court. Obviously, the Cincinnati final doesn't count, but the fact that he won Cincinnati, beating Zverev, and then Sinner goes into the U.S. Open looking like his hard court game is going to be good enough. And, when's the next time he's going to win a hard court major? That was the question for me after Wimbledon. Well, he's coming into the U.S. Open with a pretty good chance.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Hopefully Sinner can get better soon so he can be full form, and maybe we could get a little. I saw this. If Sinner and Alcaraz make it to the U.S. Open final, then that match will be for the world number one end of year rankings.
Really? Because Alcaraz lost pretty early last year at the U.S. Open, and Sinner won it. So I think if you're a finalist, I think you get like 1,200 or 1,400 points. So Sinner would lose that many points then, the difference, and Alcaraz would gain like probably 1,500 at minimum. Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So we'll see how fit Sinner is, because he could play either Sunday or Monday in New York. I mean, it's a while.
Yep.
It's a week.
Obviously, the number one W for Carlos Alcaraz is he gets to play with his girl, Emma Raducanu, in the mixed doubles tournament in the U.S. Open. Some people were speculating that, man, if this is a grinder of a match, maybe they pull out of the mixed doubles. It could have been a situation, yes, Sinner was hurt, but that is some motivation, and maybe Alcaraz puts it away 6-0, 6-0 anyway, so he can get on that plane and go play some mixed doubles with his girl. We'll never know that answer, but it's fair to create some to spectate it.
To speculate, yeah. It's maybe Alcaraz went, we might have to get the ITIA involved, tennis integrity body here, because maybe Alcaraz paid off Sinner. He's like, look, I got to make this relationship happen. I need to be in U.S. Open fresh. Just give me this one. Just pull out, fake an injury, fake her illness, and I'll be on the way to New York real quick with fresh legs so I can impress my girl. Maybe. I'm just saying. Everything is possible.
I love it. It's going to be fun, man. U.S. Open will be awesome. Make sure y'all are tuned in and subscribed to the Slice channel so you can get tournament previews, post-match analysis, and everything in between. Hopefully we'll land some interviews for you guys too during that time. And before we send y'all to the interview, do we want to read these YouTube comments, or is there anything else we need to address before we get to the YouTube comments?
Nothing else we need to address. Great pick, or great catch on that. Let me pull up these YouTube comments, and then we will read them.
I can read one while you're looking.
Go for it.
I'll read a long one for you while you're pulling it up. This is from Thatcher Scott 2105. For next podcast, how do you think your podcast fits into the tennis space with other podcasts out there? Served, Nothing Major, Gil Gross, etc. What lane do you feel that you fill? Curious on your thoughts and where you think your podcast is going. Love the interviews. I'd say try to keep getting them. Y'all are killing it.
My man. Our supportive king. What would you say, JP? I mean, what I say to people sometimes is, Nothing Major served amazing podcast from ex-professional players. So if you want insights into like what's actually happening in a match for a professional tennis player, they have much better insight than either JP or I can give. We're not an ex-pro. I think I give pretty good analysis of how matches go from a strategy standpoint and knowing the game standpoint. But in general, I think the flavor that JP and I bring to the Slice is a fun angle on the sport that can be valuable to hardcore tennis fans or brand newcomers to the sport, and maybe like other sport athletes who are interested in tennis. I think appreciate the way we talk about it. So we try to have fun. We try to bring people into tennis and don't take ourselves too seriously. That's me.
I'd agree with all of that. And to add to it, I would say when we are able to get when we are able to get players on, we're able to do the interview in a way that's different from former players because we truly are fans. And so I think the viewers, we have the same relationship with the players as the viewers do, as opposed to the player to player relationship. So I think we can kind of connect, we can connect fans to players better than player to player interviews, which is fun. And one of my favorite quotes of all time that drops probably in the last 2 months was, the way to escape competition is through authenticity. So that is the number one way we'll be able to separate ourselves, hopefully. And hey, take that into your lives as well. That's how you can escape the competition. Be authentic.
I love it. Quotes like that and many more on Make It to Midnight, JP's own passion project. He drops bangers like that and motivational stories. So check that out. We will link it in the comments or in the description.
Appreciate it.
Next comment. Poke chop K4U. I don't know why I did it in that accent. It just felt right with the poke chop. Loved the double interview. Loved Jesse's stories, especially about Novak and Roger. Ben is so much fun to watch with his explosive game and personality. In my opinion, he's the most likely American man to win a slam. Sorry, Taylor. I don't hate it.
Agree with all that, Pokey Chop. And guys, go check out that last episode with Jesse. He did have some awesome stories training with Roger.
Yes.
The reason people love Novak, all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next one. Go for it, JP.
We'll go Brenda Johnson. These next two are quick, guys. Then we're into the interview. Brenda Johnson, 5525, one of our favorites. Really enjoyed this. Thumbs up.
Amazing, Brenda. We love it. We love you. And lastly, at Geo Air Travel said, great double interview. 2 thumbs up. Blue heart tennis racket. That just fires me up.
The emoji
to
king.
Send. Yeah, the real king. That fires me up to send us into our interview with our interview. It's almost less of an interview. It's a hot takes segment with tennis coach Conor Casey, where JP, myself, and Conor bring some more of our hot takes in the tennis world. So here it is, Coach Conor Casey back on the Slice. All right, welcome back to the Slice Tennis Podcast, Coach Conor Casey. We're very happy to have you. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing fabulous. Woke up early. I had a full 3 a.m. day. I had a day from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's a full day for me, and now I'm here.
So happy to have you on your second day of Thursday. And, it's last time you had you on the show, we had some great conversations that I think were really well received. And like I said, then you're probably the funniest guy in tennis, in my opinion. And we love, besides Michael Costa, unfortunately, but he's, your arch nemesis.
He's more like mainstream. I'm more like indie comedy.
Yeah. for the real comedy fans.
He's a studio guy.
Yeah. He's got a team. But yeah, what have you been up to in the last few months since we talked? Because, we both have huge schedules and teams. It's hard to sync up. We haven't been able to get back on here. So how have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, no, I've been doing a lot of stuff in the tennis community. It's the summer, so I've been trying to avoid teaching summer camps. That's what most tennis coaches are doing. But God bless all the hard frontline workers that are running summer camps right now. You guys are the real heroes, and I mean that. So I started the summer off doing a lot of content with the Intense Tennis League, which is this tennis incubator out of Atlanta. That's sort of a team tennis experience, if you will, where they're just doing a lot. They're just testing a lot of new rules, a lot of new takes on the game, different scoring system. Only got one serve, and it was really exciting. But the thing that I was most excited about was how they're blending the narrative in with the tennis. They're really trying to highlight the social media component. I was playing my alter ego, this guy Chip Rally, who is sort of a character that I always felt like that was Chip Rally's the guy who non-tennis people think tennis players are.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I'd get made fun of for playing tennis because that's what people did in the 90s. They made fun of tennis players. And and I always thought, that's not who I am. And I would imagine Chip Rally. And I'm like, no, that's not me. Is that who you think I am?
But not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But then as I got to know Chip Rally in my mind, I was like, he's just a nice guy. He just loves tennis. And he was born maybe on third base, or born up a set and a break. But anyway, so I brought Chip. They let me bring Chip Rally to life. And we did the Chip Rally show, which was sort of like a between two Between Two Ferns, or we were calling
Oh.
it Between Two Net Posts.
When can we expect this, or is this already out?
This is out on YouTube. It's been sort of soft launched out there.
Okay. Not anymore.
Yeah. So check out Chip Rally, Rallying with Chip Rally on YouTube. It's out there. It's hot. And other than that, just been listening to the Slice podcast when I can. Love what you guys are saying.
Dude, we're Chip Rally, Steven, I love me some anime, just like Taylor Fritz. It sounds like a beginning of what could be a tennis anime when there's the young main character has his inner dialogue and you're shown the inner dialogue first, not realizing it's the inner dialogue. It looks like it's real life. Episode 6 or 7, it comes out and you realize, oh my gosh, that's just his subconscious. But something that we could pitch to Crunchyroll later on.
Yeah, all right. That sounds fantastic. And we were both in Toronto, Coach Conor and I, but we weren't able to see each other. I was there only at the beginning, and we were like 2 ships in the night. But how was your time in Toronto?
It was great. So in Toronto, I did a bunch of content for the tournament. Got to say, definitely the hot ticket in Toronto was watching Ben Shelton. Watching him live is just another. He's got the chip right now on his shoulder that I think is good. That makes tennis exciting. Like, I think Kyrgios sort of gave him the chip, but like Ben's wearing it in a bit of a cooler way. Not like, I love Kyrgios, but I think that Ben's sort of got this chip on his shoulder right now. I'm not sure where it comes from. I mean, he looks to his box and he's got this relationship with his dad, but his relationship with his dad's respectful. He's not gonna step out of line to his dad. Like his dad's, I think that's like dad of the year right there. He's got it figured out. Brian Shelton has got it figured out as far as like how to raise your kid in the game.
Yeah, I love Brian. I don't know if you just saw, we had Jesse Levine on talking about how he was talking to Brian to give Ben a tip on his serve. And very, things get intense on the tennis court. And I think Ben can come off we've talked about this before. Ben can come off the wrong way a little bit sometimes. Like, I like that chip on your shoulder analogy because he's like, tearing into Kaboli for like, blinking at him the wrong way when he hit a winner. He's like, why you? I thought we were friends. Why didn't you support me?
The shirt off moment was a little.
The shirt off was crazy.
He's like doing this. He's like flexing on him essentially. He's like, why aren't we friends?
And I mean, dude, while tennis, like obviously Ben is like he's got a good frame on him and he's strong. There's no like fully jacked dude that like looks like a football player. So when the shirts come off, there's like a few not bird chest, but close to. And you're like, what do you see in your head right now when you're doing this?
Yeah. No, Ben's definitely leading the pack, I would say, for like physiques on the net.
Oh yeah. I mean, Ben's cut up.
Yeah, he's cut. He's got a bit of tude. Like if I had to fight somebody on the tour, he wouldn't be the guy that I'd
No. Who would? Maybe that's a good first. This is going to be another session of hot takes. So maybe I can just kick it off with this. If you had to fight someone,
if I have to go like into the ring with any of these guys, well, first of all, they're all bigger than you think.
Right.
Like even like the guys that you're like, oh, they're described as little by the commentators. You walk past them in the hall, they're bigger than you. And I'm 6 foot, and they're like, Demon Hour or Casper Ruud. I saw him; he was a beast.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight Casper. He's got that Norwegian energy, fight to the death kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not fighting anybody who's from Scandinavia.
No,
check that off. I'm not going anywhere near Zverev. The guy's twice my size.
He's got experience as well.
Yeah, I might have to bring Diego Schwartzman out of retirement for a little brawl, but he'd still kick my ass. So
low base, the low man wins.
Yeah. He'd be running all over me. I wouldn't even know what's happening.
I can't wait to hear JP's take on this.
Who I would fight?
Yeah.
I mean, like part of me, the best case scenario would be to go after the big dog. Because if you do beat the big dog, then you gain the respect of the pack. But also, if you lose to the big dog, you're expected to lose. With all that being said, I think I'm going to fight Yannick Sinner because I like my chances.
It's not a bad call.
That is Yannick Sinner. You already said that you think you could outsquat him, which Conor.
They don't work. They don't max out in tennis.
I thought that was a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. How those quads looking?
Not where they should be. Like, I'm not going to pull them out on camera, but we were talking about it. Like you know, tennis players, they don't work out. Like all their stuff is high reps.
Right.
They're not ever like trying to. They're trying to be explosive. So
Yeah.
that's where I like my. Now, if he was training, Sinner's got me for sure.
And I was joking. I'm always playing on JP like he is. He's got that American muscle. He's on a football podcast. Let's just leave it there. Like these guys are gym bros. They got their muscle milk. JP's
Shout out sore necks.
He's a beast. Okay, so you'd fight Yannick Sinner. I would, if I was going to fight someone like, and you just had to, like, I think, I wouldn't go Scandinavia. Obviously, wouldn't go Russia. That's just like, I don't think I have to say I'm not going to fight Karen Khachanov. That'd probably be like the least person I would want to fight.
Yeah.
I would want to go, I think, to France, somewhere in there, because I'm not going to say that I think they are maybe softer, but I think that the kind of the environment maybe might enable that a bit. So someone like Hugo Gaston, who I was watching, who, you know, in general kind of rubs me the wrong way with the way that he plays and some of the cheating antics he pulls out. He's also he's one of the guys who actually looks like a commoner if you walk by him. Like you're like, it's actually amazing. And you can be a fan of him because you're like, that guy made it to the top 100, and it's kind of amazing that we could too. So I'd probably go for someone like that, or like one of the other skinny Frenchmen. He's not that skinny, but you know
what? I changed my answer. I'm going to go. I'm taking a note from your book. I'm going Benoit Paire. I just think he'd just be like, I'm not doing this. And he just like turtle. And then you just kind of give him some side shots because he doesn't want to hit his beautiful face.
No. Or you guys are just end up like
the most
dancing.
handsome people on tour.
Yeah, go for the handsome guys. They're going to protect the moneymaker.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Okay, well, that gets us in. That's a good first take, I think. JP's one there was definitely, I think, hot. You know, the Sinner fan base will be out actually probably.
I know,
it's
like,
man. So
as more I'm thinking about it too, I'm like, I think I would actually feel bad because he is a pretty non-confrontational person, and it's like, he won't fight back either, and that would just be bullying, and then nobody would feel good about themselves after that.
Yeah, that's not working out for you in any way. There's no winners there, that they would say. All right. Well, let me just get my hot take out there first, that I brought to the table here, because I don't think many people are going to share my opinion based on what I've seen, but I see everyone doing videos, doing clips, talking about how great that crack of the tennis can is. And everyone's like sniffing the tennis ball smell right out of the can. And, you know, I think they exaggerated a bit, but everyone seems to love that smell. And my hot take is I don't think that smells actually that good, because A, I don't like poisoning myself. B, it's like, I get it. Like you're like, that's fresh. But I'm not shoving my face in there like I see a lot of people. And then C, I think the main reason you like doing that is because you're about to play tennis with fresh balls, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And it's like the Louis C.K. bit where it's like, this might be a bit graphic for some of our viewers, but he's like, the best part of having sex is like realizing that you're about to have sex.
Right.
So like, you're about to play tennis, and like when you crack that can, it's like, you're about to play with fresh balls, which, there's nothing worse than playing with like these sketchy balls out of the basket. You don't know. They're all a different level of firmness. You know what I'm talking about, guys?
It's the potential is what you're saying. Like what could happen? You like the smell of the potential. I think with tennis balls, look, do I love the smell of a fresh can of tennis balls? Sometimes. I think that the scent is associated with, like, don't they say that scent is associated with memory the most?
Yeah.
Right. So I think if you're somebody who's new to tennis and doesn't have a laundry list of traumatic memories associated with the game, like you didn't grow up with a father who forced you to play or on a toxic college tennis team with Ty Tucker at the Ohio State. If you don't have those memories, it's like you crack open a fresh can of balls and all you smell is potential. But if you're cracking open a can and you've had a traumatic experience, it might not smell so good.
I couldn't agree more, because I'm that exact person he's describing with no traumatic experience. And we literally this past weekend cracked this, or the people we were playing with, they brought new tennis balls, and I asked them, hey, do y'all mind if I crack it open, because I want to smell it?
You guys mind if I have a minute with this can of balls?
Right. I'll be right back. I promise it won't take long. Yeah. It never does.
Oh, man, these balls are all fluffy and kind of... What is this?
Hey, just serve, man. Don't worry about me.
What just happened? Yeah, anyways, that's my take. I don't think it's super controversial. But yeah, I've always thought about that. It's not like the first thing I think of when it comes to tennis.
I like it.
Anyone else?
You want me or Connor to go next?
Go for it, JP.
I think that we should get rid of the year-end finals, or actually, it'll be hotter if I paint it like this. Get rid of the year-end finals, and the number 1 and number 2 players draft a team. Then they go against each other, and they can pick whoever they want. So they could take the 70th ranked player if they wanted to, if they felt he fit well in the team. But I want to see the players draft other players, so that I think it will lead to more controversy amongst them, like people who thought they were friends but aren't actually friends. And then you get some great matchups on court.
Okay. Well, right away, if I may, Stephen, you're talking. So what we got now. You're saying get rid of the Nito finals, create a new type of almost like a hybrid Rod Laver Cup Nito final.
Right. That's what I was like. This more is like a Laver Cup idea, but I'll stick with the finals.
Right. Yeah. I almost wonder if you just get rid of everything after the U.S. Open and just get rid of it. Period. Why do we need this final?
Yeah. Yeah. That's maybe another hot take. Like the schedule. When does the tennis season end? Because I think there's an unwritten rule that once the U.S. Open's over, the season's kind of over.
Yeah, and there's some good indoor tennis being played. Like, look, this conversation about like the season and extending it, and it seems like the players, they're not in love with the idea of extending the season, right?
Right.
So anything that gets like the concept of, like, I hear you, like getting creative after the U.S. Open. Like, I feel like anything other than like, okay, guys, how about just the beach for 2 months? All the pros are going to be like, yeah, okay. Like.
Yeah, and I think if you could do that, move that Nito final or the new finals, the draft finals, right up till like the beginning of October, they would love that. Yeah, I think the draft thing would be funny, and like you'd have to make it worth a ton of money, so the players wouldn't just be like, it wouldn't be a hit and giggle where the guys just want to play with their friends, but they're like, we're going to do a team event here, and I need to draft the best team, and then when
the prize money would be serious.
And how are you drafting that team? Like, why would I take a guy who's 70? You think just
so, like, it could be, say, like, if a dude has been battling injuries and he just didn't get his ranking back up by the end of year, you pick the sleeper, and then the Tommy Paul of the world is like, wait, why did you pick so and so over me? Then Tommy Paul, maybe going into the next season, is like, I'm gonna prove that this guy can't even touch me on the court.
Yeah, definitely would create storylines, and like I can imagine sinners out there trying to pick the best team, and it comes to, it's like the next logical person based on ranking is Musetti, Italian. He's like, I'm going to pick someone else. That would get the Italians going, and if sinners just trying to win like 30 mil to win the tournament, it's like the winning team gets 30 mil, the losing team gets $0, and they play like a tournament for zero money. Like I know they hate doing that.
Right.
So
yeah. The Friend Cup.
I think it could be a hit.
I mean, I like anything that creates a little divide, a little tension between the guys.
We're divisive here.
Yeah, divide.
Let's hear it, Connor.
Hot take. Well, I think so I got a little bit of slack for saying that Sinner is boring,
which I agree with,
and I'm gonna double down on that, and I'm going to say that not only is Sinner boring, but the behavior of tennis as a profession is a boring profession. But I think that most great endeavors become boring after a while. I'll give you an example. Like, I played tennis all my life to the point where I always struggled with percentage tennis, which is quote unquote boring, right? Playing the percentages, keeping the ball cross court, going to bed at 9:00, eating gelato rather than having a couple of Molsons, right? Like just doing all the right stuff. That's living the boring life or the stoic life in order to win championships, right? When I quit tennis, I said, you know what? I'm going to get into acting, because acting just seems like this like whimsical world of creativity. And like, if you drink and smoke and do everything, it's just making you better.
Right.
So I went to LA and I started taking some acting classes, and I showed up to my first audition, and I think it was for Silicon Valley, the TV. Remember that show?
Oh my God, I love that show.
Yeah. So I went out, like the first thing I do, I get to LA. They're like, "Here, read for this." I'm like, "Well, Mike Judge, the guy who created Beavis and Butthead, this is incredible." So I go in for Silicon Valley. I'm like, you know what? I'm playing a nerd. I'm going to wear glasses. I'm going to fucking hike my pants up. I'm going to wear, I went in there with all this bells and whistles on, and did not get the part, clearly.
Hey, what were you auditioning for?
Well, this is for Silicon Valley for the main character.
Richard?
Richard, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So I go in, but I do all this goofy stuff, right? And afterwards, I told my acting teacher, and he's like, no, the key to good acting is to dare to be boring. Like the great actors, they show up, they just do a little look. They just do a little nuance. Like Paul Newman, the guy just looks at the person. There's no acting. And
Right.
I'm like, everywhere you go at the top of the game, it's how can you deal with the boredom? Can you be boring at a successful strategy? Right. So yeah, I'll call them boring, but it's a compliment. Okay, Sinner fans.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been so legendary if you were in Silicon Valley.
I know. It would have been great. But I had to be creative. I had to be silly.
You had to be
I
yourself.
still think your teacher was wrong.
Yeah. If I could do it again, I would have just done what Sinner does and just played the percentages.
God,
Yeah,
man.
and
You and
that-
Ehrlich Bachman.
Yeah.
That take shouldn't be like, I love how you put it, like, excellence can be boring, right? Like shouldn't be controversial. Like if you're going to stay at number one at the top, it's very hard to do that. And you have to, and tennis is repetitive, and it might be the most repetitive sport there is. Like you watch these guys go and hit, I'm like, almost why do you even have to hit that much? Like they just want to feel the ball, and they get really in their heads about like, oh, am I feeling it exactly right today? Because even guys at the top, like they can get super in their head if they're not feeling the ball. And you can see that actually in Toronto and Montreal. Darren Cahill told me one time that a lot of the players really find it hard to feel the ball in Canada because the courts are kind of open and they're swirly and the balls fly. And so like it's like it's like revolutions.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey in
right
in the Wall Street movie. But exactly. Your voice reminds me of that guy.
Hey man, it is what it is, man. What does he say?
Come on. All right.
He's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's a very repetitive sport. So you would think like you can't be out there trying brand new things, being creative, being funny if you're going to really be dominant at the top. Like in a way, I think we all would agree Federer's game was more aesthetically pleasing and fun to watch as a number one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he just did the same thing for year after year after year. And, in a way was boring if you don't like, shot making and, dominance.
Right. And I think also too, like, not to segue, but Vicky Mboko, right? Mm-hmm. This is a very exciting week that we just encountered in Canada. Here comes the new Canadian girl, comes out of nowhere, beats Coco, beats Naomi, beats Rabinica in the semis, right? These are just like, it doesn't get more exciting. So she's a flashy, exciting player. I look at her and I go, okay, it would be great if she could continue that for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But then I get a little bit concerned because I look at her, I look at Leila Fernandez, you look at Bianca, you look at some of these other Canadians who were flashy and big and came out, and sort of the thing that defined them was scrappy and exciting. But then you look at who's sustained at the top of the women's game, and it's like just sheer force, like Sabalenka, just I will crush you.
Right.
Rabinica, like Iga is an interesting one because she's like maintained a bit of a scrappiness, but has that like that power, that just like ferociousness.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm saying like if can Vicky be a little bit more boring?
I think what Carl Hale was on our show last week was saying is her mentality is different than most players he's seen. And I think she can be boring in that way. Like she has traditional strokes on both sides and kind of I would say a very classic game. And then, she didn't have to be the bigger hitter taking the most risk to win some of those matches, like not against Rybakina, not against Buzaz Monero. Like she was the more steady player. And it's just about, and he told an amazing story. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like, she's like, where's my money? As like a 12-year-old, she was just all about her business. She's standing on business as a 12-year-old.
10 toes.
I love that. She's just here to cash checks, win. But she's also obviously very nice and great. But I think she can win in boring ways and be more steady that way.
Right. Just
Yeah.
collect the check, get home, play with the kids.
I don't foresee a sophomore slump for her. I mean, obviously it could happen. It wouldn't be surprising just because full season on tour is tough mentally. But like y'all are saying, man, I think she can be boring, but she also physically is a beast, and that goes so much farther than anything else. So hopefully y'all got it going on with her.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the sophomore slump is a big thing, right? Because I think what happens is eventually somebody down the road, let's say, just starts slicing low shots to Vicky's forehand, and maybe she's off that day, and then by the end of the day, everybody on the WTA tour now knows slice it low to her forehand. So I think that sophomore year, your weaknesses are more on exposure, and you might not have those big audiences that are rooting for you,
right?
As big. And if you're playing off that energy all the time, now you're in, Cleveland playing a 75K. Who knows?
The dream. Well, that could lead me to, it's not really a hot take, but I guess maybe it is. I think pressure, which can lead to the sophomore slump, which I think is actually the main contributing factor to any type of slump on the pro tour. I think pressure and mentality is much more important in the top 100, kind of based on where you're going to end up, than raw talent. What do you guys think?
Wait, can you repeat it one more time for me?
So I think your pressure and essentially your ability to handle pressure and your confidence is way more important in the top 100 than your just raw ball striking ability.
Got you. Coach, what do you think?
I would agree. I think Ben Shelton is a great example of what you're saying. I saw some footage of Ben Shelton when he was at Nick Bollettieri's tennis academy when he was a kid. I don't know if you guys saw that online. Nick is just giving him grief about his backhand. And you're seeing this kid. And I looked at the 4, 5, 6 kids that are hitting backhands, and I'm not going Ben Shelton's the most talented of that group. In fact, he was clunky. He was unorthodox. But then, you look at, again, I'm going to speak kindly on his dad because I think that his dad has figured it out. You look at him 20 years later, now he's arguably, I'm going to call him the 3rd best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
And the way he's handling the pressure, the healthy relationship that he seems to have with his father, that seems to be paying off much bigger dividends than talent.
Steven, do you think he's the 3rd best player?
I mean, he just won Toronto. He won the last Masters 1000. I don't think that's and yeah, the way he was playing from the baseline in Toronto is super scary. Like, it was always, he can't really return. Once you get into the rallies, you're going to be fine. But if you're not going to be fine in the rallies, and he has the biggest serve in the game, it is super scary. So, and I think, I don't see him, he's expression out on the court, but some players, when the heat gets turned up, you see them start to panic a little, or they get these weird ticks. And he's just, he's got that swagger, which I think you have to handle pressure, where you're just like, all right. Like, you think of Djokovic when he's down match points, like going like this to the crowd, like you need a bit of that rather than like just white knuckling. And like a lot of my favorite players, a lot of the guys we know, just they want it so bad, they're like afraid of losing so bad that they can't.
The double faults start to show up.
So I think it's like, I think you look at a guy like Tsitsipas, like, we could talk about Tsitsipas, but he's got more talent. He's got more natural talent than probably everyone in the game except for 1 or 2 guys. But it's the brain damage and the repetition of losing really matter. So he was on a trajectory until a certain time, essentially 2021 French Open, when he lost, and then now you're not the young kid who's always has nothing to lose and you're going to win most matches you play. Now you're like lost that, and you're up 2 sets to love. Now it's just part of your psyche. And you lose again, you're up 2 sets to love, and you're like, it's just like, I have the feeling that it becomes, I'm a loser. And it's hard to imagine as like a top player, but it's not about beating everyone else. It's about in his head and all of our heads, he should be winning majors. And then you get this mental psyche of like, I'm not a major winner, I'm a major loser. And I don't
know. Well, I think with Tsitsipas, the tour's performative male artist, I love him because I think that he has a heart on his sleeve, and we get to enjoy that a little bit. I don't necessarily always agree with everything he's saying, but I just love that he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. I think I heard a really good quote that Andy Roddick had which was when Andy Roddick retired from tennis. He didn't retire from tennis. He retired from waiting around. And he was sort of like speaking to the fact that so much of tennis is killing time and just like dealing with the off time. And I think what Tsitsipas did right away was once he established himself as one of the top guys, he also established himself as a guy who loves to make videos, who loves to have a fun in the off time, right? He was like he was all about the creativity off the court. And I think by doing that, he seemed a little bit distracted, if I may. And it's almost like by doing that, he made himself vulnerable to the stoics and to the robotic guys who were not revealing that side of himself. So I think he showed vulnerability, which tragically is not really a strength at the top of the tennis game.
Man,
maybe as an artist, it is.
That's deep. I'm going to start crying.
You painted that story like an artist.
And then he's got his father, who he's got now. If we want to talk Tsitsidosa,
what you seeing over there?
Give me a dose of
takes
that.
on Tsitsidosa. Tsitsidosa, like before I get into if I may, with Tsitsidosa.
Oh, you may.
Look, this was a very interesting phenomenon. I mean, two good-looking tennis players at the top of the game decide to make a public relationship. He's vulnerable, coy, performative. She's tough, brash, sort of. It was a good opposites attract thing, right? They break up. Now, people were saying that the relationship hurt his tennis. They break up, and then he immediately, now before we even talk about how the breakup is going, he immediately hires Goran Ivanisevic, who kicks him when he's down. Right?
Masochistic, yeah.
And what did he say? What did Goran say?
He's like, he's just not in shape. I'm more in shape than him as like a 60-year-old, essentially.
Now, Goran, who ironically was the poster child in the 90s for tanking and not being in shape and being the lazy player, like that's how I knew him. Every coach was like, don't be like Goran Ivanisevic.
Right.
Now he helped Djokovic, and now he's the poster child for be like Ivanisevic. Okay, whatever. But he kicks him when he's down. And now Badosa's online doing a little bit of thirst trapping in her story. I got to say. She's
had to mute her.
What's that?
Said I had to mute her.
Oh, no.
She's a trap for JP.
Yeah, I think he's getting over. I think he's heartbroken right now, big time.
Do you think he's about to enter it? Because, rock bottom is a great place to build a new foundation. Do you think the foundation is being built?
I think so. I think he put out some posts recently about how he loves his father. So he's clearly had a moment like, Dad, I'm sorry, man. I was just the booty was just so good. And Dad said, I understand. I got the looks. It's our curse. It's our blessing and curse. So they clearly had some grappa and got over it. And now I think he'll come back.
Yeah, I like that. He, the online conversation has been Tsitsipas and his dad have to break up. It's a bad coaching relationship. I know Tsitsipas sees that. So breaks up with his girlfriend. I love that he dumped Goran after he trashed him publicly. Like, just if he didn't, like, career's over for me, because it's just like you got to have some self-respect. So see you, Goran. I'm going back to Dad because, how did I get to the French Open final? With my dad. There's all these legendary stories of them training as kids. His dad feeding him balls and making him from the baseline hit the back fence as hard as he can. Just hit the back fence. And then that's how honestly, Tsitsipas at his best was pretty dominant when it came to his first serve and forehand. And, he would dominate players. And I think he can get back there, especially with the attitude of like, screw the haters, screw the online coaches, screw the ex-girlfriend. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm like a bad boy now. And I'm not going to, I'm going to train as hard as I want, not as hard as Goran wants. And I'm still going to win. Like, I love that. He needs to get the Ben Shelton chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I think too, he needs to. I only have one issue with his online presence, and it's these Chat GPT tweets that are just so clearly robotic, and he's typing something in that's like, give me a random fact that's been tweeted 100 times before, and then he just copies and pastes it.
He's got the one-handed backhand. He's got this impulse to be flair, and I think the way he's doing it, JP, is wrong. Like, I would agree. He's finding himself And he's using ChatGPT and he's getting flowery, and it's coy and it's kind of cute, but like I agree with Steven. Now he's got to go dark. We got to see dark Tsitsipas.
Right.
Right. Like a bit of that hate. Like I'm picking up some like Darth Vader, like Hayden Christensen. Like what was that second? Like he needs to like take a lightsaber out and just go destroy an academy.
Yeah, I want to see him wear an all black outfit.
Wherever Goran's coaching, he needs to pull up.
Yeah, just pull up and just lace him.
It's like, yeah, just literally like
chosen one.
I want to see him wearing a black outfit at the US Open, even if, you know, whoever is sponsored doesn't give it to him. And I want to see him like, you know,
you got, coach?
Snatch the towel out of a ball kid's hand really hard. Like
we need to see him shave his head. If you're listening right now, shave it.
Hey,
It'll grow
I'll
back.
cook up the photo, Steven.
Cook up the photo, but like buzz cut, like David Beckham style, like still super good looking, just buzz cut.
Goat.
Yeah.
You guys want the locks? You guys want the locks? You're not getting them. I'm winning.
Yeah. Bag of locks. Just hold the bag. That bag will be worth something. Drop it after you win.
You think this is getting donated? No. Garbage.
FTK, them kids, man.
Yeah. No, we need I would love to see go on his Tsitsipas go on his Goblin tour. Because one of the funniest things I've also seen was Goran trashing him for not essentially working hard enough. And then a clip came out of him, I think, training in Toronto, and the coach is getting him to do like 5 jumps to squats, and he's just like hopping like a bunny, like so nonchalantly, jogging to the corner, coming back, hitting a ball. It's like, you know, I like that almost. Don't train hard. Just you don't. You're one of the few guys who could get away with like talent and like physique. Go win. Just do your thing.
Amen. Yeah, we need guys like him.
Is a hot take. Even Ivanisevic is without Djokovic. Is he considered a good coach?
Is anybody? I'm going to double down on that hot take. Who is Andy Murray a good coach? Is Goran a good coach? Who else has been in Djokovic's box?
Boris Becker.
Yeah, these guys are all like, I think they're more totems,
right?
If you will. And obviously they know the game. They know what it takes. I think Djokovic needs them there so that he can see them.
Mm-hmm.
And it grounds him, sort of like how Shapovalov's little wolf dog did at the beginning, if you remember that throwback.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think Andy. That's one thing that Andy did that was kind of I loved was that he came out and was like, I don't know what I was doing. Like,
right.
I don't know how to coach. I'm just like to travel. Like
what we're all thinking, he just somebody finally says,
which was great, which was amazing.
And those guys,
I'm trying to get that coaching spot in the last year.
I mean, you could probably get it if we tag him. Like you're coaching the greatest of all time. Like his results, I would say, have really nothing to do with the coach. Like, you know, he's won with everyone. And then, you know, Boris Becker was there, I think, when he won all those majors after coming back, and he could take the credit for it. But I think these coaches, I think the coaches who are like nobodies and they've coached somebody to, heights and they were never a good player. I think those are the guys that you can tell actually are great coaches because they get hired for a reason. Shout out to my guy, Brad Stein, Tommy Paul's coach. He was, he was on the Challenger Futures Tour type of player, but then he has a young guy coached Courier to like 4 major titles, and then has just had this illustrious coaching career as not an ex-player. Those types of guys, and he's talked to me about there's all these unknown coaches on the tour who no one's ever heard their name, and they're just unbelievable coaches. And they'll coach a guy like, Echeverry to the top 50, and he can't even speak English, and no one wants to interview him, but he's like unreal coach. So those are I think those are the real coaches. I think JP's right. The top guys, like the ex-players, they're literally figureheads.
Yeah, and there's value to the figurehead for sure. I think that totally building off what you said, the journeyman coach, sort of these people, like there's a certain characteristic that they have. Like shout out to one of the top coaches on the WTA tour, Rob Steckley, Canadian coach, incredible traveler. Like I've never seen somebody who knows how to travel better. And traveling is by far one of the hardest parts of the tour.
Right.
The way he can pack a bag, the way he can get the courts set up, and then he knows where the good restaurants are that are healthy. The smoothies are over here. The gym is there. He gets it set up perfect. And then he's got the balancing pit bull energy of just like, we're in a thunderstorm on an airplane, but it's all good. It's all good. And anytime the player is looking over to him and they just sense that he's chill, like it helps them immensely.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of it.
All the intangibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
because you can't be sensitive. Or go ahead.
No, you got it.
Well, I was gonna say you can't be sensitive as a tennis player. Like, I love these dynamics. Like most times, I think players look over and they want their coach. They're freaking out, and they don't want their coach to be freaking out. Sometimes the coaches will tell the player to like snap out of it, like get going. Brad told us this hilarious story of telling, cussing out Tommy in Cincinnati to get going. Which obviously Tommy's not going to want that every match. Doesn't need it most matches, but there's player coach relationships. You can't be sensitive. But sensitivity in tennis is at an extreme high. And we think JP's talked about this coming from a different sports world. Might be the most sensitive sports fan base in the world is the tennis fan base. So I don't even think that's a hot take at all. I just love seeing, no matter what we say, one way or another, if there's like a sniff that you're critiquing someone's player, it's full guns out. Yeah. And I love that.
By far the most sensitive, by far the least amount of actual pictures in your profiles online. Everything bad about the internet, tennis fan Twitter has.
Yeah, I think if you look at some of the people who I would call like the toxic tennis fan, I don't think there tend to be people that grew up playing 5 hours a day, traveled playing tournaments, played college tennis, played futures, and then retired from tennis and then became rabid tennis fans. Right. I think you get a lot of like maybe sycophants, to use a word that I don't use very often and might be using wrong. But like people that are obsessed, like you get the obsessed, like I like I got nothing against Zverev, but like if you say anything about Zverev, like you will get obsessed people that will want to kill you.
Yeah.
Online. So that's the thing. And then another thing is, I think we all see, like, you got Alcaraz who's flashy and you got Sinner who's by the book. And I think people that are by the book in their own life tend to like Sinner. And if you make fun of Sinner, they take it as a personal attack because you're going, well, no, you don't like him because he's boring. Well, I'm boring. I have a 401k. What are you saying? That you're insulting me? Like they take it personal.
Right.
Yeah.
You have no idea what my Roth IRA is doing.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, I got Vanguard index funds. I'm crushing you, buddy.
I actually do have some Bitcoin. I have 0.1 of a Bitcoin, so I am risky. I am fun.
You got 0.1 of the Bitcoin. You cooking right now.
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna be at the Canuck House, okay, at the U.S. Open.
Let's go. I'm showing up. Yeah.
Have you gotten some insane DMs?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I get insane DMs about, not too much, mostly in the comments. Like nobody goes at me too hard in the DMs. I get a lot of like people that love doubles being like, thank you for sort of like respecting doubles. Like that doubles fans are also an interesting bunch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you some invites. They're all traumatized from Riley Opelka dunking on them.
Yeah. That dunk, did that land? I mean, is Riley playing in that doubles tournament coming up?
Yeah, the mixed one.
Yeah, at the U.S. Open. No, yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't guess. I wonder if he got the invite.
But I definitely agree with you guys that the tennis fans are. I think because also too, on the tennis fan experience, like tennis fans are experiencing tennis simultaneously with also trying to develop their tennis game. So
right.
When they're watching the pros, like you go to the like I was in Cincinnati, the practice courts at tournaments are off the charts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the new value add that all these big tournaments are giving us, which is great because now I can go to Cincinnati and like I can go see, oh man, they're doing the same drills that my coach has me doing. Mm-hmm. And oh look, that elbow is 3 degrees higher than I thought. Like so they can pick up that stuff on the practice courts and then they go watch the games. And I think, yeah, you've got this like building that they're doing, which is sort of sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, great sketch, by the way, the one you did post with at the practice courts.
Oh, thank you.
Recently, that one was hilarious. And I think too, like with NBA players and NFL players, those guys are like physical freaks. in specimens to where if I turn on an NBA game, everything that's happening on that court, I know that I can't do.
Right.
And when you're watching tennis, visually it looks like, okay, there's a lot of guys that are 6 foot, 5'11". They weigh around what I weigh. Maybe this is more achievable, which couldn't be further from the truth, but I think it plays into the psyche.
Yeah, like why like what you said earlier, Connor, why do people identify with different tennis players so much? And it's such a part of their personality. And I can attest to that. When I was growing up, I was a Federer fan. And I started the slice essentially in the battleground of the big three. And at the time I was like, yeah, Federer's the greatest of all time, never getting touched with his records and yada, yada. And then I changed to it doesn't matter about the records. He's still the greatest, and then people called me on that.
Right.
Fair enough. But it was like personal. And when I'm still emotionally affected by the 2019 Wimbledon loss. And I was like, I need him to be the best of all time because I think his game is pure tennis. And I want that to be what, and I'm like, why? And I think there's maybe something, tennis is, it's a very individual sport. It's kind of narcissistic. Like I love playing tennis because I grew up playing team sports and I want the ball the whole time. So just let's play tennis. I can hit the ball every second shot. So there's like all these people on these journeys, and I think they latch on to a player, and then when their player is getting criticized or is losing, they're like, it's them too. They're along with a ride, and I kind of love that. Like I kind of love being on the team with them, so ride or die. But that might be it.
Yeah, totally agree. Like think about it when you bump into somebody who says they're a Medvedev fan, like a Daniil Medvedev fan. Like what do you think? You're like, okay, well this person enjoys like a little bit of like debauchery, like playing games, like their trickery, they're kind of unorthodox. So you start to think about what that person's like based on who their favorite player is.
For sure.
I love it.
If you're a hardcore Djokovic fan, sorry, you're like maybe not in the mainstream, maybe you were like the third person at the party at all times.
If you're a hardcore Djokovic fan, you voted for Trump for sure.
Dude, I swear, I was in an instance the other day where they asked me like, who's your favorite tennis player? I was like, honestly, I think it's Djokovic. And there was a few people in the crowd that, I knew where they stood. And then like 2 minutes later, they're scrolling on their phones and somebody just asked like, wait, who was the tennis player that got like kicked out of Australia? I was like, oh man, I think it was like Tennis Sangren or something.
Right.
But no, you're so right. It's like you just immediately get pitted, and then you tell them like, because I love everything about Djokovic's story and how he comes up, and nobody from the average American sports fan knows Djokovic's background or like how much he does for younger people, like younger guys on tour, all the stuff. And you say that, and they're all so shocked, like, really? I had no idea. I just kind of, it's like, all right. But
100%, he's like got a rap of being just like a good guy, like from the people that know him. And if you like, run in these circles like we do, like people are like, he's funny. And like, you can tell he's definitely the funniest of the big four.
Right.
Like, and him and Andy, him and Andy neck and neck, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's funny. Like he's got a sense of humor. He's really intelligent. But that's not the stuff that really gets highlighted for him. It's because his game is just kind of boring to watch compared to Federer. Sorry to say it. Hate me in the comments.
It's a fact. It's objectively a fact. And yeah, like I love that. I love thinking about like you can tell who somebody is by who they're a fan of. Like my favorite player is Tommy Paul. What does that say about you? Nothing against Tommy Paul, but I think you kind of have money that maybe wasn't yours, and you're like American. And you're like kind of Matthew McConaughey is a Tommy Paul fan, and then you're like, there's a bunch of people like who want to be Matthew McConaughey, who are probably also.
You have a Bass Pro Shop hat.
Yeah.
you probably have some zins in your car.
Yeah.
I just have all these things on my back table.
You're like, we're just outing JP. It's just his exact life. No,
I don't even like Tommy Paul, bro. Awesome. I'm a Djokovic fan. I already told you.
I love Tommy Paul. We all love him. We got to get him on the show because our cold open to that show, when we eventually do get Tommy Paul on the show, which we should be able to soon, is it's going to be Tommy Paul, Stephen Paul, Joseph Paul.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that and let it cook, and then he's going to be like, "What?"
Boom. Hey, back to when we were talking about coach or the schedule and coach, you were saying how the guys the beach for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
One of my hot takes after seeing, and I don't even know if this is a hot take, but after seeing the video of Gasquet and Dominic Thiem playing some beach tennis,
Oh yeah,
go ahead, throw in another Masters 1000 tournament at the beach, and I am there. And if anybody needs a coach, I'll coach the beach part of the tour.
yeah.
If you're Djokovic, any of the top guys, you need a totem, let me get in there. What do you think about the beach tour?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. Like somebody sent me the video and it was just originally just a shot of a stadium with water in the stadium. And I was like, okay, cool. What? Like, is this my algorithm showing me another person drowning? Like,
right.
But then I don't want to see that. I don't know if you guys know, but like my algorithm's been getting dark lately. I got to be blocking some.
Yeah.
But you kind of want to see it.
But I kind of want to see it. Like, why do I like watching people get taken away by the shore?
The tsunami algorithm has been crazy recently.
So then I deleted that, but then somebody sent it to me again. And then once the water washed away and a tennis court appeared, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And it was amazing. So yeah, I would love to see a sand mat tournament.
They got to make it happen.
Mhm.
Steven, would you be there?
I would be there for sure. You know, I'd be anywhere that, will have me. The schedule is a funny one because we're a player show. We like to support the players to an extent. I one of my personal hot takes is like Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, get up and play controversy last week. I just it's just going to be me, and I think the guys who are real ones in the top 100 can understand. I don't really feel bad for any of them. Like
having to kill time,
for having to work hard, have a long season, to have long days. Anyone that's making $1 million plus, which everyone in the top 100 almost is, is working a lot. I know people like that. They work 24/7 and they are savages. And not saying but the tennis players compare themselves constantly, and the PTPA does this too. We're the NBA. We should be like the NBA. The tennis tour is not the NBA. So sorry to break it to you, and it never will be. It's the schedule, and if you shorten it, all these guys, the critique is like they're all going to go play exhibitions for money, like on the off season, and a lot of them do, even with a 2-week off season right now. Like I think you had Demon Hour after the Nito finals, literally playing like you know what I mean, and then he's complaining about the longer seasons, which it's just you can't have your cake and eat it too, I think, and then. Yeah, and everyone wants to play more money for a little less work. I get that, but it is. I think it comes off a bit rich when the money's gotten pretty good. And it's the best it's ever been, and a lot of these players are making probably more money than the actual value they bring to the show, I would say.
It's always hard to have sympathy for the wealthy, if I may. Like I think that's part of it's ingrained in our society or in our so anytime someone who's very successful has any pain, it's tricky for us to be like, oh well, you've got a Lamborghini, so it's all good. But yeah, I mean, on that note, I was just thinking about Musetti recently, because now that we have an 11-day tournament in Toronto, and then Cincinnati's 11 days, right? You could argue, to your point, Stephen, that this is like, okay, this is too much. Some people are going, this is too long. Like, why did they extend those days? I'm thinking Musetti loses first round Toronto. Then he's got 10 days to kill in Toronto. Can't find a good espresso.
Right? Not happening.
Stress levels start to increase.
Yeah. Then he's in Cincinnati. He loses first round. Can't find a good espresso. What you got to do? Eat Skyline chili for a week?
Right. Go blow money in New York just to get the espresso while you wait 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, what are these guys doing to kill time when they lose early in these new 11-day tournaments? I saw them go to the water park.
That's tough.
That amusement park next to Cincy looks somewhere I need to check out.
Yeah. It was kind of neat.
That's the ultimate. Yeah, I'm sure I think it's called King's Island. That's the ultimate. The European mind can't comprehend this. Like, you go from sitting in the Calas in Italy and Sardinia and the south of Spain, and you're like, what are these Americans up to? And you go to this first all new tennis facility, which is just insane. You're like, this is different. And then you go to this amusement park, which are there even amusement parks in Europe? I don't know, but I think they would think it's
like Euro Disney.
Disney.
I think it's just like a big cafe, with like croissants that are made like Mickey Mouse's head.
Get ready to learn Skyline chili.
Yeah, I know. Those guys having to eat like food in the Midwest for these, like you're saying, Stephen, to those guys that are more from the cultured European experience, to have to come over and indulge in Americana for a while.
Yeah, their guts are slow. Their digestive tract is slowing down. It's like not.
Yes.
It's not. It's getting plugged. Things aren't good. Like, and like you said earlier, these guys, a lot of them have ADHD, or just are. They're all athletes. They want to do stuff, and a day off now between every match. Just a lot of time to lose your next match in your head before you play. I feel like,
and maybe that's a bit about what it is in a little bit, right? Like these guys are probably a little bit afraid of that downtime. Which I wouldn't blame him.
I don't like sitting with my thoughts.
Me neither, man. I'm running. But
sitting with my regrets.
Yeah, sitting there stewing in my regret.
Yeah, thinking about the match point to the 14-year-old kid.
Yeah,
lefty.
I mean, like look at the content that I'm making. I mean, imagine if you have all that stuff in your head and you're trying to be stoic on the tennis court, like. You're losing 2-2 to anybody who can keep the ball across court.
Scary. Yeah, you never had a chance. You never had a chance on the Challenger Tour, so it's not your fault.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, I don't know. Do you guys have any final hot takes before we wrap this one up? Because obviously the line is this is just this edition. 6 months from now, we'll have more hot takes to air out.
Yep.
Any parting thoughts?
All I have is that if you're a man, you shouldn't be taking long showers.
How long's a long shower?
I was in the shower the other day and I felt like I was in there for a long time, which is rare. I'm like, man, I'm getting bored. Like, why am I still in here? Did I just lose track of time? I look at my watch. It had been like 4 minutes, 48 seconds. And that is when it really hit me. I'm like, man, you really got dudes out here when you go on these trips and they're like, hey, let me get the first shower. Like it takes me a minute. I'm like, no, like it shouldn't take you a minute, man. Get in, get off, and get out. Like,
yeah,
it's been bothering me as I sit in the shower. I'm like, you can only do so much in here.
I'm with you on the short shower. I had a roommate who used to take 20-minute showers right at like roommate rush hour. Like we're all waking up and it's like 7 a.m. and he got in there first. It's 25 minutes in there. Get in there, get a little lather, get out. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. There's not. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Steve, are you a long shower guy?
No, I'm not. And it always surprises me how short the showers actually are. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh snap, I got to be out of the house in 5 minutes. I'm like, I always realize, yeah, that's easy. I can get in, get out. Combing my hair takes about 10 minutes, so that's the real problem. But you got to work with what you got, and then out. No, the long showers are always weird. Guys like bring their speakers. They get like a waterproof speaker to bring in there. I'm like,
like you're not scrolling or doing anything in there. You're just
respect you
to
being comfortable,
or just standing there,
being naked for that long. Which I respect that. I just maybe they would be really good tennis players. Maybe Jannik Sinner has really long showers because he's just happy to sit with his thoughts.
Well, I think Yannick Kramer from Kramer on Seinfeld, didn't he decide he was going to live in the shower?
Oh yeah,
I think he decided it was better in there. Didn't work out.
Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's me not being comfortable being naked, which I'm not. But
got to get rid of that mirror in the shower, JP. You'll stay in there.
That's an American thing, JP. You got to be comfortable naked.
I can't, man.
Like Casper Ruud, he was walking around naked behind the scenes at Toronto.
Hey,
was he?
Shout out Casper, man.
You saw that?
The Scandinavians, they get naked the second they get behind that. So like anybody who's wondering what's happening behind the VIP area, it's just naked tennis players.
Just naked Scandinavians walking around.
Except for me, because I'm a little intimidated.
Don't say that. You're gonna get some crazy the tennis fans already are the biggest stands ever. You tell them that their favorite players are all naked, they're gonna go crazy.
Yep.
They're gonna start showing up. That's hilarious. I'd love to talk about the shower habits of all the top guys. Maybe that's our next episode. 1 minute on each of the top 100 guys, like what a shower is like for them.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, "Hey, aren't you the guys they were talking about us being naked?" Like, nah, man, you got the wrong show. That was Served with Andy Roddick.
I can guarantee you that they're all hunched over like this in the shower because they're having to travel, and they're all massive, and the showers are not big enough for them.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah, good stuff,
Connor or Coach. I'm all
like
about
that.
the Coach.
I love that.
I can't call you
appreciate it.
Connor. I gotta call you Coach.
No, I appreciate that.
It was great to meet you. Love the content. Thanks for the time. Thanks for getting up. Well, obviously 5:15 wasn't even early for you.
Oh.
So thanks for making time in the middle of your day
Yeah.
to sit down with us. Yeah.
Second day.
It was awesome.
I already closed 5 deals this morning. Went for a 10K run. Happy to be here.
Damn. Slide me a rental property.
I'll buy when your course is ready, please let me know. I will buy it twice.
Absolutely. On CD-ROM, available soon.
All right. This has been The Slice with Coach Conor Casey. Some hot takes. Leave your thoughts on our hot takes and your own down below. Make sure to follow Conor on social media if you haven't already. And thanks, Conor, for being on here. We'll get you on the next one.
My pleasure, guys.